Hey, Met fans, happy Saturday. How are you? Gotta be feeling good. Gotta be feeling groovy after yesterday's big win. Oh my, who saw that coming? When Tijuan Walker was struggling early in the ball games, oh no, don't tell me it's gonna be like the Mets are gonna lose like 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4 to Pittsburgh. Taiwan doesn't have his stuff. The All-Star pick is gonna throw his brains off. He settled down. That's the good thing. And once he settled down, all hell broke loose in the sixth inning. Yes, the Mets did a Bo Derek. They put up a perfect 10 spot in the sixth inning, and that was pleasurable. Those are the type of innings you'll remember forever and ever if you're a Met fan. And granted, Pittsburgh's an underwhelming opponent, but it was so refreshing to see, considering the Mets lineup has sputtered for most of the season, but they had all the answers in the sixth inning. And it became a party. Everybody party at Citi Field. Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso fired the cannon shots, and they fired big ones. 2 homers totaling 7 runs that led the Mets 13-4 sinking in the Pirates at Citi Field on Friday. Now, the game endured a 41-minute rain delay with the Mets batting in the eighth inning and leading by 10 runs. How painful is that to have a rain delay at that point? But it's not going to rain on our parade, not when we scored 10 runs. We'll wait it out. But it was good to see Francisco Lindor. And just to put your mind at ease, Francisco, when you perform, this New York crowd will love you, and they love you. So we just need Francisco back doing what he does, and things are going to be looking much, much better in Metland. Now, Francisco, as you recall, before he came to the Mets, he had 4 straight All-Star appearances. But this year, let's be honest, he's enduring his career worst season. And he'll be excluded from the game this year. And maybe that's a wake-up call for him, because I think Lindor is the type of guy that kind of loves that spotlight. He loves being an all-star. He loves the limelight. He loves the attention. He loves baseball. He loves people. I bet you if he even watched this YouTube cast, he'd love this YouTube cast. But anyway, it's good to see Francisco back and grooving because the Mets need him. Now, the Mets entered the game yesterday 29th in Major League Baseball, scoring 3.65 runs per game. And you know what team was only worse than them? Yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it came at the right time. And you know what's also coming at the right time? Brandon Nimmo's returned to the top of the lineup. Boy, do we need Brandon. What a breath of fresh air he is. Now, Nimmo reached base twice in the sixth inning alone and 3 times overall as part of the onslaught. Jonathan Villar saw 2 homers, become the 10th player in franchise history to go deep from both sides of the plate in the same game. Yeah, the offense was clicking, and hopefully it can carry on for the rest of the weekend. Most of the damage occurred against Pirates starter JT Brubaker and reliever Sam Howard, and they combined to surrender 11 of the runs. Now, after Dominic Smith's RBI single on the 6th put the Mets ahead 3-2, the Polar Bear brought in 3 additional by clearing the fence in right center for his 16th homer of the season. Now, only needs the Polar Bear to go on a home run binge. But that was hardly the end of it. After the Mets loaded the bases on a single and 2 walks, Jose Peraza was hit by a pitch, and Nimmo walked, extending the lead to 8-2. And then Francisco Lindor followed with an opposite field grand slam to left center. And you could see that Lindor, he's a natural. He's got power. I mean, he's a shortstop, but he has power. And it was so good to see. Now, the Mets have won for the 5th time in 7 games, and the scoring total was 1 short of their season high against the Orioles, that 14-1 rout against Baltimore. And over the next 2 days, the Mets and Pirates will play 3 games to close the first half. And let's be honest, for Tijuan Walker, it was his shakiest home start of the season, but he was named to the NL All-Star team, and deservedly so. Congratulations, Tijuan. You belong in the All-Star game this year. You got 2 earned runs on 4 hits with 3 walks over 5 innings. Whenever Tijuan has a bad outing, it's usually he has his spotty control problems, and this time was no exception. Now, it followed an outing in Yankee Stadium, which Walker took a no-hitter into the 6th inning before surrendering a home run to Aaron Judge. Now, Walker punked Michael Perez in the 2nd inning to force in a run, but then pulled a great escape by striking out Jared Oliva and getting the pitcher, Brubaker, to hit into a double play. John Nagowski's double surrounded by 2 walks, loaded the bases with nobody out. Adam Frazier delivered an RBI single against Walker in the 5th, and it was a tied ball game, 2-2. Olivia doubled and stole third base before Brubaker walked with 1 out. Now, the leadoff hitter Frazier further displayed why he's such a hot commodity heading to the trade deadline. He lined the single to right field for the run. Frazier began the night with a 326, 396, 461 slash line. And the Mets sure showing interest in him. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, but he's a player to look at. I don't think he's going to end up with the team. I think, if anything, the Mets want to stock up on some more pitching, if anything. Villar homered leading off the 3rd to get the Mets their first run. James McCann looped a single with 1 out and scored on Nimmo's double to right center. Now, Nimmo, he began the night with an 864 OPS since his return from the injured list last weekend. And he is the remedy this ball club needs right now. You love Brandon Nimmo. I love him. You love him. And if you don't love him, you should. Now let's talk a little about Adam Frazier. He's been on the Mets' radar. And there's a few teams looking out for him. And I could see why. He's a 20-year-old, and he's having one of the best seasons in baseball this year. He's batting .328 with .397 on-base percentage and a .464 slugging percentage. And he has an MLB leading 111 hits. But we'll see what happens on that. I mean, there's always trade talk going around this year, and the Mets, I think the Mets think that they're going to be serious players, but Frazier's really developed into a weak contact hitter. In the postseason, that's what you want. These strikeout batters can get intimidated by the good pitching, not intimidated, overpowered by the power pitchers. Power pitching wins in the playoffs. So Adam Frazier makes contact. And don't forget, he was a .348 hitter at Mississippi State, and he was getting better and better in the pros, and he's regaining his old form. So in a perfect world, yeah, Adam Frazier would be a Met. Imagine having him and McNeil, 2 great contact hitters hitting the ball in the lineup, but we'll see what happens. Now, it could worry well. The Mets are going to work closely with Pittsburgh because Ben Cherington worked with Scott in Boston. They both got their first gigs under Theo Epstein in Boston. So there could be the old buddy network there. Well, they'll give each other the benefit of the doubt and try to work with each other. But even Adam Frazier said, New York is fun. You walk around, shop a little bit, eat a little bit. The fans are great here. You have to be ready to play, soak it in, and enjoy. So it may be refreshing if we get a guy like Adam Frazier, but that remains to be seen. I honestly don't think it's going to happen. I think, like I said, the emphasis should be on the pitching. I think we're solid. All you need is above average players at each position. And when healthy, the Mets do have that. But like I said, you never turn your back if the deal is right for an Adam Frazier. And what deal was right for the Mets? Signing Tijuan Walker to that 2-year deal in the offseason. Yeah, Tijuan. He's going to Colorado. And I hate to say this, but Trevor Bauer isn't. Like I said yesterday, Trevor Bauer will upset the whole chemistry, the dynamic of the team, especially the salary structure. I think the highest paid players on your team should be the ones who are brought up through your organization, like a Pete Alonso, like a Jacob deGrom. And Bauer had no loyalty. He was just out for money. But I don't want to get into him anymore. I'm sick tired about talking about him. What I want to do is talk about Tijuan Walker. And he has definitely been one of the linchpins for the Mets this year, hasn't he? What a great job he's done. It's really coming to fruition now how good a pitcher he is. And Tijuan, congrats, you're getting a $50,000 bonus for making the All-Star team. And that's the goal of any player. So I'm sure he's thrilled to be doing it. And Jake, well, that'd be a good combination, deGrom and Walker. But Jacob deGrom's not going, so I can't think of a better pitcher to go than Tijuan Walker. And don't forget, Pete Alonso's going to be in that All-Star Classic in the Home Run Derby. That'd be fun, him and Shohei Ohtani. I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, Walker wasn't at his best yesterday, Friday, but he got the job done. And he has a 2.50 ERA and 89 strikeouts in 90 innings pitched, allowing just 63 hits. What a godsend he's been for the Mets. He's been steady. He's been effective. He's allowing 2 runs or fewer in 12 of his 16 starts. And he leads the team with 4 starts of at least 7 innings and no more than one earned run allowed. That's even one more than Jacob deGrom. I know Jake's missed a little time, but shows you how good Walker's been. And he's been the lifesaver. Let's face it, that may be the biggest acquisition because his 2-year, $20 million deal saved the season with Syndergaard and Carrasco missing the season up to this point. And in hindsight, in 2020 hindsight, looks like the Mets got the pitcher they wanted. Tijuan Walker, after all is said and done. And another pitcher they want pitching for him and pitching well is Carlos Carrasco. And the good news is he may actually, yes, this guy we just talk about all year, he may actually be pitching for the Mets very, very soon, shortly after the All-Star break. He's scheduled to throw a live batting practice session Saturday at Citi Field, and he'll be evaluated for a minor league rehab assignment that could begin next week, according to Louis Rojas. It looks like the Mets may want to build up his innings at the major league level, working deeper into games, meaning his stay in the minors could be short, as opposed to the normal 3-week period. And I guess the Mets are just taking a wait-and-see approach on that. He tore his right hamstring in spring training, Carrasco did, and he was beginning a minor league rehab assignment in May when he was shut down because of discomfort. Now, he was part of that deal with Francisco Lindor, and you get those two guys performing the way you should, and that's going to be the steal of the century, that trade. Now, what are the Mets going to do tomorrow? It looks like they may be shying away from DeGrom. Looks like they're looking to a bullpen game for Sunday's series finale. Possibly starting Jared Eichhoff, who returned to the organization last week on a minor league contract. But it hasn't even been discussed with Jacob DeGrom about him returning on short rest for potential abbreviated appearance. And I say, don't do it. Don't do it. But if DeGrom foregoes a side session Saturday with the idea of pitching a day later, he would likely receive that opportunity. He was originally scheduled to pitch Sunday, but the plan was changed after Tuesday's rainout, which puts his scheduled start to Wednesday. And DeGrom already said that he's skipping the All-Star game, and I think he should. It's too much risk and little reward for that, for a meaningless exhibition game. And he's been injured a lot this year, so let's caution on the safe side, shall we? And maybe after the All-Star break, Michael Conforto can start heating up. I mean, he's in his walk year. He's playing for Bucks now, so we're going to need Michael Conforto to hit. And I thought he would once he came back, but he really hasn't done anything since he came back. He's actually been worse than he was before he went on the disabled list, or what we call now the IL list. And Friday night was no better. He had a walk and 2 strikeouts. But he's just too good a player. So I'm not giving up on Conforto. But in his first game back, he had 2 hits and drove in a run. I said, oh boy, here he comes. Conforto's back. But since then, he's gone 3 for 38 with 15 strikeouts. And I think the Mets are noticing that he's picked up some bad habits. He's been way out in front. If you look, his timing is way off. And he's not attacking the ball. And he's being a little indecisive. And don't forget, Conforto last year batted .322 with a .927 OPS. So this can be fixed, my friends. This can be fixed, and it has to be fixed. What else needs to be fixed? Well, these doubleheaders, they're killing us. All these there's going to be a 10th doubleheader today for the Mets. That is ridiculous. We've split 5 of them so far. We have 10 doubleheaders, I should say, and we've split 5 of them. We won 2. The last 5 we split. We did win 2 outright. And this is our 10th doubleheader. I stand corrected. But it's just very hard, very, very hard to win 2 doubleheaders in a row. So, I mean, 2 games in a doubleheader. So it's not working to the Mets' advantage having these doubleheaders. So I'll be one who's glad that they're done with after this year. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. And you know what else needs to be done? It looks like the Cubs need to deal some of their players, and they're looking over Met prospects. Now, the only thing is these guys are playing on walk years, so I'm always leery of that. Unless you're going to lock in these guys to big-time deals, I don't know. Looks like Chris Bryant's going to be available. They're going to open up the floodgates. It looks like Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Kyle Hendricks, they'll all be available, maybe. So we'll see what transpires out of that. But if I were the Mets, I'd be extra cautious. It's not worth 2 months of a superstar who may not even be with you and maybe reaching his peak and coming down the tailspin of his career. Well, again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Uh, Please subscribe to this YouTube cast. That way you'll get one every time one pops up. We do one daily recap and one this day in Met history every day. What I want you guys to do is tune back later. This day in Met history is going to be a little bit late today. I have to do something, so it'll be later up than usual. But please subscribe. Everyone reach out, philstan41@gmail.com. And if you want to join our Facebook group, New York Mets Baseball Way of Life, we'd love to have you. We have great people talking great Mets stuff every day, so come on board. All right, enjoy a game today. 2 games today, two for the price of one. So let's root the Mets on today, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Take care, guys.